it was not. For those who understand the history of our country, even in its recent past, you would appreciate the ideological convergence between our own party, social democratic ideals, and the legacy of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. We ascribe to those ideals the history of struggle and the history of liberation, and standing for something that we think is enshrined in the principles of social justice, inclusivity, and building a culture of democratic tradition for this country, so that everybody has a stake in this country we call Kenya. It will not do justice to all of us if I do not acknowledge that we stand in a very difficult moment as a country. We are not calling for compromises of what we stand for as dear to our hearts as political parties, as men, as women, as young people of this country. We are calling for a spirit of sacrifice, not compromise. The meeting today brings together a river that probably split into two in the plains, and hopefully, without preemptive strikes, that river eventually finds convergence between its two tributaries as they head into an ocean. That is all we pray for. I am not qualified to speak on whether that has been materialized. It's above my pay grade. This is the moment when I would want to invite my party leader, a person who is not new to this country, not new to the controversies that this country has faced in its bid to find itself and its soul, to share with us, hopefully, the conclusive journey or the advancement of those conversations as they have had them, not just today, but in other spaces over a period of time. We can only hope that there will be positive news and there will be white smoke. Abemus Papam. Senior
Asante sana. Asante sana. Asante. Today you are allowing me to continue with the protocols of the mask due to reasons only known to myself. The Right Honorable Prime Minister and the Azimio Coalition flag bearer, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. All the distinguished men and women, ladies and gentlemen in this tent and members of the press, I'm here to confirm that from now onwards, NARC Kenya and I are supporting the Azimio presidential candidate, Raila Odinga. And this is without any equivocation. I have said time and again, and NARC Kenya believes in this, that as we move forward, we must look for leaders who have a demonstrated track record of being selfless, of putting the interests of the nation above theirs. People who can fulfill promises, because it's easy to make promises during campaign. But we know that without integrity in leadership, without safeguarding public resources, all those promises will amount to nothing. While acknowledging that no side has only saints, all sides have people who may have looted in the past, all sides have people who do not believe in the rule of law, and all sides have good people. I've been looking keenly and have been able, without much struggle, to identify a critical mass of good people within the Azimio coalition. And that is needed to steer the nation in the right direction. I have been in the trenches with the Azimio presidential flag bearer, Comrade Raila Amolo Odinga. At this stage, because that is a struggle language, I will not use Baba, I will say comrade. We've been in the trenches together. We've come a long way in the struggle and fight for liberation in this country, the second liberation, fight for the constitution. And when we have had disagreements, we've been able to lay them on the table, overcome them in the interest of the people of Kenya. We are convinced that we'll be able to forge forward in the best interest of the people of Kenya, putting always the interests of Kenya ahead of any other partisan or personal interests. That is the commitment we are making to Kenyans today. And as we make this journey in Azimio together with others, I'm sure we will have many more times of briefing the nation and our of where we are in this journey. So from now on, I am committed, and now Kenya is committed, to popularize the Azimio presidential flag bearer, Comrade Raila Odinga, and his 10-point agenda, which, as my Secretary General has said, is part of the social justice ideals that we stand for. I want to thank you and invite my brother and comrade to also say a few words.
Hello. Comrade, Madam Mother Karua, other fellow comrades I see in the crowd here, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. This is a very, very proud and pleasant occasion. First, I had a quick occasion to sit down with my comrade and sister Martha Karua before we came here. We had one-on-one, just the two of us, which was very valuable. And in that period of time, we took the journey down the memory lane and looked at where we've come from as a people and as a country and where we are. There are not very many people around with whom I can share that kind of experience. She is one of them. And we've agreed that the time has come again for us to come together. The Secretary General talked about a river first branching and converging. I wanted to tell him that he really are talking about Nile in Cairo. River Nile in Cairo. River Nile in Cairo streets just before, now it is now in the middle of Cairo. And then it forms a land. It's called the Zamalek Island, where I used to live. And then it converges again to move towards Mediterranean Sea. But I've been saying just like the march of the Nile is unstoppable. When it starts that long journey from the Ginger, the river Elton, from the Ethiopian mountains to the Mediterranean Sea, the movement of the people of Kenya to liberate this country is still unstoppable. I've been saying lately that when the process of a third liberation, that there's the first liberation which brought independence to this country. The second liberation which gave us a new constitution. And now the third liberation is what I call the economic liberation of our country. Just like those first two were processes. See, the first liberation was a process. It took a long time. You will recall, for example, the times of Koitalel, the days of Hariduku, and people will not know how we call that street the Hariduku street, or down there. How many people were shot and killed there in 1922.